in terms of power wasted, but I know what it's from, so it doesn't really matter. And that's allowing this aqua tuner to run flat out, basically. So we've got an aqua tuner that's cooling the petroleum, which is for cooling our gold volcano up here. And that means that we get gold that's, you know, cooled rather than liquid molten gold. Just the one not get. Yeah, this is Saturnus's logic from last night. So we've got a wire that runs through this pipe sensor, through this thermosensor, and then into the NOT gate. And then the NOT gate, we basically flipped the signal to be inverse, right? The reason for that is when we started this up originally, the room was a vacuum and I couldn't use the thermosensor. Now that we've got steam in here, it isn't so much necessary, but when it was a vacuum, it was a problem. And if this ever became a vacuum in the future, if ever this was turned off and all the water turned into water again, all the steam turned back into water, I'd want this switch to be inverted, if that makes sense. So, the report will be interested to see how much power it's actually giving you. Let's have a nosy then. Let's look at yesterday. Power usage, power wasted. Steam turbine overproduction, 33 kilojoules. 29 kilojoules. Not very much. 38 kilojoules. Where's generation? Hold on. Power. Where's power generation? Where does that come into it? Steam turbine. 96 kilojoules. 75 kilojoules. It's a little bit of power, you know. I'll take it. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. So it's quite a nice little build, and it is sort of inspired by Wachunga. I do have to say that. I mean, we theory crafted it a little bit, and then Wachunga went off and built a monstrous setup where it was like one steam turbine to up to 12 aqua tuners or something crazy, which I'm sure we can share you on. It's on Discord if you're interested. You might have to do a bit of a scrolling for it, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Right, we don't want to pump any liquid in here yet. What we want to do is connect this bridge up at this point. How close are you to being empty? We'll just bang you in now. So we'll whack this bridge in, and this will allow some of this oil to start flowing, and then we can get rid of these bits of pipes. We won't need them anymore. Come on. Can you show me your petroleum tank? Yeah, certainly. We're on it now, mate. How good is it? It's cooling. It's cooling a gold volcano. So yeah, it's pretty good, Nailu. We could add more aqua tuners in there. We could do a lot with it, really. Yeah, I need to get rid of a couple of these bits of pipe, ideally. I might make a bit of an oil spill here, but it's not a big deal. I might be lucky. I was lucky. Right, so we can now empty this pipe. I think I was lucky. I'm hoping I was lucky. Bang. Nice. Is there any oil down here? No. Very good. Very good. What did you want to know, sorry, Leppy, mate? So tell me, do you see the difference? The difference, what did I do? What have I done wrong? Do I see the difference? Show me a petroleum tank. Do I see... Oh, the sensors, is that what you're talking about? I don't really care about that. Is that what you were talking about? One tile more. Oh, is it one tile wider? Oh, one tile more down here. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Fuck it. Fuck you, Leppy. Oh, you bothered me now. Now I'll look at it. You could have just said nothing. You know, you could have just said nothing and I'd have been quite blissfully happy. I'd have never noticed that. I'd have never noticed it. But I know that now that you've spotted it, you'll point it out all the fecking time. You're a real piece of work. A real son of a bitch. Son of an bitch. Now I have to sweep it, build the tile, get rid of that tile. Jerk! You could have just said nothing. Oh, Christ. If you care about the power from the turbine, you can set the smart battery in the circuit to only fill up to, say, 70%. Yeah, I suppose I could do that, actually. It might already be set quite low. Let's have a look. Which one is it? It's this boy, isn't it? No, wait. It's this boy. It's at 75, so we're probably not wasting that much, but 2,000 kilowatts, is 2,000 watts rather, is going to fill this up pretty quickly. We'll try doing that. It's going to fill it pretty quickly. You asshole, Leppy. No, I'm glad you pointed it out. It would have triggered me later otherwise. It's better than me doing it now than when it's filled with thousands of kilos of oil, so... Did I get rid of that ignis that was under the natural gas vent? No, I didn't. Do you want to know the worst part, mate? Do you want to see the worst part? These 4 bits of granite. I can't get them. I can't get them because they're in a vacuum. And I don't want to break the vacuum, and I can't get them. I couldn't get them diagonally. It made me really sad. That's the worst part for me. This igneous... No, he's forever there as well. He stays there, alright? I can't do anything about him either. Son of a bitch. You repost the 10 Aquatuna build on Discord. Nice, Wachunga. Yeah, if any of you are interested in the theory or seeing the theory on a bigger scale, Wachunga did a debug build where he's basically showing just how much you can get from one steam turbine in terms of cooling. And you'll have to correct me, Wachunga, but I'm sure you said you could almost go up to 12 Aquatunas running full time. It's pretty silly. I don't think you can fill that battery because it's on the other side of a transformer. No, I don't think so. Is it? Wait. Oh, yeah, you might be right, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. No, it won't. It'll be on the right side of the transformer. It's this one. Oh. This is actually wired up incorrectly. This is not wired up correctly at all. This has no battery on the circuit. Neither's this. This is wrong. Oh, this one I can fix. Oh shit, I can't. Oh bollocks! Yeah, these are set up incorrectly. This is like just another battery on the main circuit. This battery should be connected to this wire, and this battery should be connected to this wire. Oh. 5 faults in this build. I guess I go to a professional channel now. Me entered. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? 5 faults? What faults? What faults? Come at me. That tank is one more tile from the ladder. And the left tank also. Yeah, but there's a fire pole here, so don't be a noob. This fire pole is jump access. Shut up. Shut up. I have to look away. Did something get bought? Yeah, something is. I'm going to try and fix it in a minute. I have to look away. Did something? Yes. I'll head off. Got work tomorrow. Take it easy, Nailu. Much love, buddy. It's nice to see you again, mate. Do not be a stranger. There is no need to be a stranger. Right. I need to stop getting distracted and focus on one thing at a time for a minute. So that's what I'm going to do. So if any of you find any other discrepancies or problems, keep them to yourself. Just for a minute. You leave too much junk lying around on the floor. I would disagree. I think you're wrong. I think I leave the perfect amount of junk lying around on the floor. What do you mean? How could... What are you talking about? There's a red blotch on the screen. That is a problem. How dare you, Torella? How dare you? Okay. Lovely. So this will fill up that pipe again. And then, as I say, only if this pipe has got no space will the oil go into here. Run a silence, look at that. How dare you? Nice to such. You still got me muted, mate. Oh, shit. Miented. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What are you talking about? You seem to be waffling bollocks. You just showed us. Oh, that genius in the vacuum. How could you? Because I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I tried. I tried so hard. That's why it makes me so salty when everybody... Well, when I say everybody, Leppy. It's just when Leppy points it out. Anyone else, I'd be like, yeah, I know, it's just a mistake. But Leppy was here. He knows. Jesus. So in how many days do you start the rockets? Jax! Give me a break. We're doing steel. That's what we needed. Right, what's basically going to happen now? Everything else in the base is pretty chill. I wanted to get this tank done. Once this tank is done, I can put in some petroleum, seal this up, and then we're off. You saw that and kept quiet. Shut up, Sordid! How dare you? Just because you're a subscriber now. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Right, okay. To space! Right, so here's the deal. We needed steel so that we could start building some sort of bunkery thing up here. Right, let me just get this oil thing done, and then we can start doing space base. Because that was the name of the stream. That's what I wanted to do tonight. We're going to do space base. We do only have 16 tons of steel, which doesn't go very far when you start building tiles that are 800 kilos of steel, for example. So I am conscious that we're going to run out of steel again. And there's nothing worse than running out of steel when you're halfway through building, excuse me, a space base. I don't want that to happen. Nice. Nicola. I don't want to run out of steel partway through space base. Nicola, what haven't you done yet? You must have done research. Have you done operate? I don't think you have. Yeah, you have. Yeah, Nicola's another one that's like super trained up, I think. Maybe we'll get her doing a bit of farming. Unless she's already done it. Do I keep going past her? No, there she is. Okay. Wait, still haven't sealed off space? No, Leppy. We built a load of jet suits, right? Here's what happened. For those of you that might be unaware, 2 streams ago, the whole stream focus was jet suits, right? Because jet suits were new and they were funky and we wanted to play with them. And we built jet suits for everybody in the colony. Or we built a lot of them. I can't remember exactly how many we made. Yeah, we built 18 of them. And we fitted jet suits on here, 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 and here. And it fucked our game. We were down to like 5 FPS. So then we spent the next stream getting rid of all the jet suits, getting rid of all the CO2 they produced, and getting things sorted. Now we're at the point where I've got exosuits in, and we're digging out our oil biome to get ourselves some fossil, to get ourselves some lime, to get ourselves some steel, to get back up into space, where we're going to put the jet suits again. All right? There is an order of things need to go in. I do have an plan. All right? There is an plan. But unfortunately, it's a bit of a slow burner. I'm trying my best. Why won't you build? Why won't... What? Can I not bridge over this? Can I not bridge over the end of a... long story short, he spent 2 streams doing fuck all. That is not true. That is not true. The FPS was so low, a cycle was taking us like 12 minutes. Come on. Can I not build over the bottom of a temp shift plate? Is this something that I was unaware of? When was that a thing? Oh, fuck it. Oh well, never mind. I was not aware. Did they fix the ladder glitch where dupes sometimes get stuck dancing until you sound the alarm? No, they didn't. The oxygen shuffle, as I call it. There is also a glitch at the minute where if a dupe goes to a food storage and the food changes temperature whilst they're on their way there, they won't collect the food. That's an interesting one. What about the loop-de-loop? They don't seem to be using it. I'm not sure if it's operate or... Oh no, I know what it is. They probably need to be assigned to research. That's probably what it is. Maybe. Let's try. We'll do the loop-de-loop. In fact, we'll just put everybody on fucking research, whatever. No one could have guessed that jetpacks would be so detrimental. I know. They're a nightmare. I was really excited to get them all set up as well, and then they just became a ball ache. And don't forget, in part of that, there we go. We spent so much time getting like our petroleum setups, you know, in place so that we could get petroleum to the jet suits and oxygen piping and everything else, and then we installed them and they killed our base. It kind of sucked. That inertia all fine and good. Does not explain. Still doesn't explain why you don't have more than 16 tons of steel. Because we've used loads of steel, Leopard. I've been building like aqua tuners out of steel and pumps out of steel and all sorts of stuff. We've used a lot of steel. We could have sealed off space, but I wouldn't have an aqua tuner cooling setup. I wouldn't have any cooling setups in the base, really. So different priorities. I could have sealed off space at like cycle fucking 300 or something if we'd have just done that. If we'd have just done nothing but rush to space, I could have done it, and we've done it before. It's not a fucking... Like, we've talked about this. But that wasn't the point of this build. If you remember, we started this base in the pre-release, and the whole point of this was to start getting a big old base set up so that when we do come to go to space, we're prepared. In terms of, like, resources and a stable base and getting everything that we need. At the moment, we just need more fossil and more lime, is the fucker. We just don't have that much lime. But we're getting there. Now, I need to watch this so that I don't overload it and fuck it up. You alright, mate? I know, I know. Unfortunately though, bud, I'm streaming at the minute. Can I give you a bell back later?
Thanks for the Only Tips playlist on YouTube. Very interested in lo-fi cold oxygen production.
Right. I will... are you about tomorrow? Can I give you a bell tomorrow? What time you in work? Right, I'll give you a bell after work, mate. Alright. So, speak to you later, mate. Cha-cha. Right, sorry about that, guys. Hildgrim, thank you very much. Thanks for the Only Tips playlist on YouTube. Very interested in lo-fi cold oxygen production. Thank you very much. That is very generous of you. Very interested in lo-fi cold oxygen production. The easiest ones that you could probably go for is Weezewort on a door. If you're looking for a super early way of cooling down some oxygen that doesn't take any power, very easy automation, couple of doors, Weezewort's on top of the door, automation switch below if it gets too cold. But you'll use quite a few Weezeworts. But that's probably the easiest power-free way of doing it. It's the same sort of principle as what we do with our AETNs down here. If you have a door with your Weezewort on top of it, when you open that door, the Weezewort stops working. So you can just say, don't go below 16 degrees. And if it ever does, the Weezewort stops working. But other than that, it's probably the usual sort of stuff, really. We once did a build that was all of our oxygen was cooled just with one Weezewort per vent. And it was quite a cool build. It was like a modular build that we just slapped in these modules all over the base. And we had like a Weezewort in hydrogen on a door, and that's how it worked. What are you all saying? And yet you're not prepared. Yeah, because of the whole jetpack thing. Come on. Lime is such a bottleneck. Yeah. The thing is, guys, we could have done other things. We could have done a massive Pacu farm. We could have done a lot of other things to get more eggshell, right? But one, I didn't want to lag out the game, which is why the jetpack thing really triggered me so much. And two, I wanted to see how much fossil we could get from the oil biome. I wanted to see if it was possible to get enough steel, a reasonable amount of steel, just with fossil. It turns out you can get quite a bit of fossil, but you still need to supplement that with a lot of critters. Now, don't get me wrong, we've had a lot of critters in our base this whole game. We've had these critter ranches set up for our hatches for God knows how long, and each one of these is 8, 16, 24, 32 critters we've got in the base, just in hatches, plus the extra ones that fall down here, which is probably like another, 10 on this side, 10 on this side. So we've got like 50 critters in the base, plus Drecos, plus, the wild critters as well that drop their eggs. We have actually been wrangling a lot of critters. I just didn't want to do a fucking Pacu farm. It's as simple as that. They break the game. They make it super laggy. And what you might not understand, for those of you that play on it yourselves and don't stream, OBS puts a lot of stress on your computer. So OBS plus Pacu farm equals no more Oni. Simple as that. So, yeah. You need to stop giving me such a hard time for making decisions for you guys' benefit. Alright? You guys'. Give you a bell. I never heard that before. Give you a bell. Give you a ring. Colloquialism, I suppose. Giving someone a jingle or a tinkle. Yeah. On the dog and bone. Yeah. You're already in space. What is space? Space. Space is rockets. That's what we want to do when we get to space. Spaces rockets. The Weasel wasn't on a door. You built a 3-door automation so the Weasel would still cool down the hydrants. Oh, is that what I did? I couldn't remember fully, Jax. I think I did a video on it as well. I enjoyed the modular build. I replicated it in my own base at the time. Nice, Vixen. I do remember, actually. So I think that's how we got speaking off the forums, I think. Or was it off YouTube? I can't remember. Giving someone a tinkle means something very naughty in my mind. There's no golden showers here, Wachunga. Oh, Jesus. What is OBS? OBS is open broadcasting software. So it's what we use, what a lot of people use to stream. There's OBS, and then you've got, is it Mix? What is it? What's the other one that people use? I use OBS. It's the free open source one. What resource are you using to feed those critters? What food is the best? For hatches, just anything really, any mineral. We're probably running out of some of this stuff actually. I would imagine our normal hatches are probably starving at this point. In fact, it looks like we've killed a lot of them off. Hold on. Oh dear. I've been looking at other things for too long. We have no sandstone. So we might start using a bit of clay. We've run out of sandstone. I don't want to use sand. Probably a little bit of clay. I want to keep the dirt in case we want to do fertilizer synths at some point. Right. Let's give them a little bit of clay. I don't know how we managed to kill off all our hatches. I mustn't have checked them for fucking ages. I thought we checked them not long ago. It seems we've had a mass death. Oh, they've literally all starved. Okay. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Let's get some more hatches wrangled. I see some young boys in here. Let's see. Hatchling. Perfect. Hatch. How old are you? 72. You're too old. Let's get a few babbies grown. How is babby formed? Okay. How many stone hatches do we need then? One in there and 3 in there. I'm sure I saw some little boys. There's another hatchling in here. There's too many critters. I sees them. There he is. Hatchling. Wrangle. Too many critters. Ah, shit. Right, let's find some young stone hatches. Must have some in here. Stone hatchling. Age 0. Perfect. A newborn. Alright, I think that's probably us done. Might get one more. One more stone boy. There's many hatches in here. I see a hatchling. There we go. That'll do us. That should top up the our hatches. Let's lock that as well. Why there's so many doors? These doors at the top. Technically these are our ranches. Okay, the mechanized airlocks up here are for having our farming stations on and our critter drop-off points and our feeding stations, right? But occasionally they're going to drop coal on here. They're going to drop eggs. So at one point throughout the day, which is going to happen in a second, these doors will open and everything can drop through these pneumatic doors. So if you watch now, the eggs and the coal and all this good stuff that we want to collect will fall down. Oh, they're 2 stone hatchings. So there we go. So that stuff can fall into the water. How did this happen? And then they hatch underwater and they drown, so that we get the meat from them. It's basically how it works. Does that make it sage hatch time? You really want me to do sage hatches, don't you? I really don't want to. Is there a way to get more basic resources if we need to build those rockets? Oh, shit. I think you basically need to go to space if you want more good stuff. But it depends. I mean, obviously, some resources like byproducts of other things. You know, you can make dirt, you can make sand. Right, are our numbers a bit higher now? Can I not look at this for a bit? They didn't deliver any of the critters. Why didn't they deliver them? I think they just tied them up and drowned them. I think they tied them up on the doors and then they fell through and died, which is not ideal. There are too many critters in here. They need to die. They need to die. Watch out the oil. Yeah. Okay, so this is now good to go. We can put some petroleum in here. We'll just nip this bridge off. Actually, we'll go a little bit higher in here. Come on, back up, you bastard. Lovely. Do you want to do 600 kilos, maybe? How much do we put over here? Yeah, we'll do a bit more. What are you up to now? 178, 178. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll nip this off for a second. And this should... Stop that! Yeah, we'll let that one bottle go. This should pressurise out. I might need to pump a little bit of oil out, we'll see. But it should do. Because obviously this oil does have somewhere to go. It's raising the oil level on this side, so that's quite enough of you. Let's get you disabled, or deconstructed rather. There we go. And that will not fall down any further, I don't think. So let's get this airflow tile in quickly, and then we can remove this mesh tile. Let's go. It's my birthday. And it's time to get some lobster. Torello, I didn't realise it was your birthday, mate. Happy birthday. Enjoy your lobster. Are you going to Red Lobster? Don't you need just 125 kilos? What are we talking about, Captain? What are we talking about? You are indeed. Well, have a lovely time, mate. I hope you have a lovely time. Eat some lobster for me. A big one. The fattest lobster. The delicious one. And happy birthday, mate. Genuinely. Hope you have a good one. It's a serial hatch drowner. Yes, there is a wrangled hatch underwater there. When you wrangle, do they drop through the mesh door? I think if I'm unfortunate and they start the wrangle animation when the hatch is above a door, it will drop them in the water. I think that's what was happening. So, yeah, fuck it. Jesus, we're losing more critters. Jeez. We'll have to hatch some hatches. It's not the end of the world. It's fine. It is fine. Life, why are your dupes wearing exosuits inside the base? They're not. It's the space helmets. Space helmets. I don't think they're wearing exosuits inside. They shouldn't be. Did you see someone in particular? Right, how are we doing? 18 tons of steel now. We're out of refined iron, so we need to refine some more of that. That's what we need to do for a bit. So whilst we're doing this, whilst we're building up our iron again, 79. We'll go up to 300 again. Whilst we're building up some more refined iron, we can start getting up to space now. And start looking at building our base up there. Lovely. Beautiful. So this is our overpressurized tank now. So the petroleum's stuck in front of this vent, basically. Now, as long as I say to these switches here, stay above the minimum size of this tile, which would be like 870 kilos technically. I might do it like 875. These pumps won't work. and they won't drop my level of crude oil down to like a dangerous level. My level of petroleum down. So we'll just do that. And then that's fine. We can hook these up later. But for now, this is going to be our oil storage, which means we can finally get this level of oil down here a bit. Let this pump just pump flat out. And eventually, you know, it might take, you know, 20 cycles or something. This oil level will be nice and low. And we'll have all our oil stored in the base, which is kind of what I want. It's going to be hot as balls, but we'll get it insulated and it'll be okay. While you were building the air tile, they were wearing the distinctive sphere helmet from the exosuits. Whilst I was building the air tile. They can wear exosuits out here. Whilst I was building the air tile. Where was I building airflow tile? Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep an eye out for any more babby hatches. Doesn't that mean there's a whole load of oil petroleum in those tanks that you just can't use? No, we've got access to them. We've got piping and stuff already in place. I can get access to it whenever I want. Same with this. This is no different than there being a big pool down at oil level. It's just, it means that I can lower the level of oil and dig out the oil biome a bit easier. And get all the goodies from down there. So anyway, right, this is all an aside. What I now need to do, I mean, because you can't have the storage drop below a certain amount. Oh yeah, well there'll be you know, this many tiles worth of oil. But yeah, that's the only downside. That's the only caveat. But it's because we have to have them as floating tanks. So normally with an overpressurized tank, like if it's with water, it's much easier because you can just do a drop of oil at the bottom or a drop of polluted water or something that sinks basically. But with oil, nothing really sinks in oil. So for oil we use petroleum, and for petroleum we use water. Because it's the things that float on top of them. Because nothing sinks in oil. I could have used a normal tank for petroleum and dropped a bit of oil in, but I kind of wanted to flip it. Kind of like to do that a little bit. So, but yeah, you only lose a few tiles worth of oil. It's nothing. It's nothing really.